Okay, welcome back to my Let's Play of Final Fantasy XIV on the PC. Um, Towards the latter half of the 5.4 content. Before we get back into that, though, just want to take a quick moment, show off another feature of Final Fantasy XIV, and that is apartments. I just learned that these exist like a few days ago. There is, of course, housing in the game. I probably have talked about that before. You can buy a house of different sizes and furnish it to your heart's desire and customize it and all that good stuff. But they are expensive, of course, because there's a limited number of them and a lot of people want them. So supply and demand. And not only are they expensive, you have to sort of, unless they add new ones, you have to purchase it from other players who, if they keep playing the game, they generally don't sell their property. If you don't log in, I think, or something like that, stuff does go on the market after a certain amount of time, but it's tricky. It's tricky to purchase a property. And so I've just ignored that this whole time because I was like, I don't have enough money. I don't have enough patience and real interest, so whatever. But now I learned about apartments, which are the smallest form of housing. And there's a bunch of them. And they're available. I mean, I didn't have to fight other players for them or anything like that. They are just available. I guess you could consider it like your first house, really. I mean, it's sort of like real life. You got to save up to get a cool, nice, big house. So when you're first starting out, you might just get an apartment. So it costs $500,000, which is not cheap either, but still. And each ward, so each major city or whatever, each region has their own sort of housing area. So each one has their own apartment. So I picked Limsa Luminsa, obviously. And let's take a gander. I haven't spent too much time decking this out or anything. But here's my little abode. This is like the default walls and floor. I haven't modified that yet. I should. And yeah, this is all just like basic furniture you can buy from the vendor for the most part. Some of this stuff is I've gotten from playing the campaign and stuff, or events like this painting. I really like this painting. That was cool. For the anniversary. But yeah, just my little place. I figured I'd make it like sort of a scholarly abode with bookshelves and a writing desk with papers. Got a nice ashtray there. Look at that. And plenty of books in the corner, just books all over the place, and just pleasant little spot. Now, it's not exactly a substitute for an inn, because it doesn't have all the same functions as like going to an inn, which is a bit of a bummer. You'd think it would. I mean, maybe you can. I just learned about apartments now, so I'm sure there's things I don't know. But yeah, it's just a nice little place. I'm not like crazy into housing or anything like that. I'm more of just a gameplay guy, but sure, I didn't mind decorating this stuff. And I can see why people really like this. It's got sort of a Sims vibe to it. But anyways, let's continue on. You saw my place. Search for Sicard. During my inquiries, a disgruntled merchant informed me that a wholesaler of crystals had recently arrived in Limsa, offering wares at prices far undercutting the competition. After asking around, I was able to gain an introduction, and will shortly pose as a potential buyer in a bid to establish the crystal's provenance. The man is due to be at Oshan's Embrace in Lower Lenosia shortly. I suggest we make our way there at once. Let's go. That appears to be our merchant. Wish me luck. Wait, if he truly is in league with the bloody executioners, he will surely be wary of those allied to the Admiral, the Scions not least of all. Compared to yours and Mangg's, mine is an unfamiliar face. Let me play the role of buyer. Graha is right, and even if you aren't recognized on sight, you look too genteel to be mixing with society's underbelly. Genteel? But very well. I leave it to you, Graha. Got business with me, Catboy? You're the crystal wholesaler? That I am. But you're no merchant. So what do you want the crystals for? I, Don't look at us, you idiot. You'll give yourself away. Oh, I see. You're a weaponsmith, am I right? And you need crystals to make staffs like that fine specimen you've got there. That's right. I am indeed a weaponsmith, and I use naught but the finest materials. I bid you show me your wares. Well, we don't invite just anybody into our storehouses. Takes time to establish trust, you understand. Look, I have a large and urgent commission. If the quality is satisfactory, I will not quibble over the price. Alright. It's plain that that's no ordinary crystal adorning your staff, so I'll make an exception. Come with me. It seems to be working. Let's follow them. Follow them up there. I mean, it's not Final Fantasy XIV if we're not fucking around with crystals and primals. They went into that tunnel. Quietly now. Won't find any finer, especially not for the price. Indeed, I would expect to pay more than double for such quality. How could they possibly be so cheap? There's nothing unlawful about them, if that's your worry. They're from Ogomoro, if you take my meaning. Stuff's as pure as it gets. You won't be disappointed. So, how much do you want? Ogomoro. Taken from the kobolds, just as we suspected. That's enough. Shut your gobs and turn around, slowly. Uh-oh. Blast him. I'm Sicard, acting captain of the Bloody Executioners. No need to introduce yourselves. We know who you are. Scions. And we also know you've been chatting to the Admiral. Got eyes and ears everywhere, see? Comes with being the only true pirate crew left in Limsa. So, we've established you ain't here to buy crystals. The question is, what are you here for? You are bold to reveal yourself to us without knowing our objective, but that would explain your swift rise to power. You have spoken plain, and so I shall return the favor. We came here to learn why the Bloody Executioners oppose the Admiral's will. And we have our answer. Should Limsa Lominsa make peace with the kobolds, you would lose the source of your newfound wealth. That's right. Just to remind you, though, we ain't breaking any rules here. The law forbids us from attacking any vessel not flying the Imperial flag, but it don't say nothing about beastmen. Only reason we keep our operation nice and quiet is because we don't want no one taking our business. Wait, just listen to the end, will you? For what it's worth, I have the highest respect for you and yours. Him especially. On the Maelstrom, we're worrying about dirtying their fancy red clobber. You lot stormed Ugomero and battered bleeding Titan himself. Raised a mug to you when I heard the news. Now we're following in your footsteps, making sure the beastmen never summon their stinking gods again. Practically your successors, we are. When there were still Imperial ships about, we did our bit for Limsa and went after them. But with the Garleans gone, there's no one left to ply our trade on except the beastmen. So let us have that, eh? It's only fair. Contentious though some may find your views, it is true that you have broken no laws. That being so, I see no reason why you should not state your case directly to the Admiral's face, unless the acting captain of the only true pirate crew left in Limsa Lominsa has some other cause to hide in a cave. Well said. Well said indeed. Alright, I'll meet with the Admiral. I'll even provide the venue. The Astalicia. I trust you won't turn down the invitation. Well, he seems polite enough. On rough seas. I thought myself the hunter, but it turns out I was the prey. A timely reminder that the pirate powers of Limsa Lominsa are not to be trifled with. But all's well that ends well. Grahatia's timely provocation had the desired effect, and Sicard has agreed to a meeting. Let us hurry back to Limsa Lominsa and pass on his invitation to the Admiral. Return. Yep. 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 Welcome back, my friends. What news? So, they have been stealing crystals from the kobolds. My thanks for solving the mystery and securing a meeting besides. Suffice to say, I accept Sicard's invitation, and I would have you join me as my guests. The future of Limsa hangs upon the outcome of this meeting, and I would have the Scions present to bear witness.
Look who's come crawling! Traitor!
You can shove your piece!
Welcome aboard, Admiral. I'll wager you don't remember me. Sicard, acting captain of the bloody executioners, at your service.
'Twas kind of you to invite us. Now, if Captain Hillfear has a message for me, I bid you speak it.
We have just the one demand. That you forget this bilge about making peace with the Beastmen. Ours is a nation of pirates. Always has been, always will be. Deny us our right to plunder, and you deny who we are.
Too bloody right! Pirates till we die!
What we want, we take! Piracy has no place in our future.
What'd she say?
Pirates have no place. Our nation has prospered through piracy, 'tis true. Yet it is but one part of our long and storied history. Centuries ago, our ancestors led a failed rebellion and were driven from their homes with little more than the shirts on their backs. In fear of their lives, they sailed south until they came to these shores. Finding the land occupied by kobolds, however, they were forced to turn to piracy in order to survive. And survive they did. But not so long ago, when the Empire threatened to crush everything we'd built, we set aside piracy and joined hands with our neighbors. This too was in order to survive. And survive we did. Time after time we fought the Empire, and time after time we won. And through trade with our newfound allies, we prospered more than we ever did through pillaging and plundering. The Empire teeters on the brink of collapse. Ere long, provinces like Wurlit and Bosnia and many others will regain their freedom. When they do, our matchless fleet will lead the world in a new golden age of commerce. The tides favor us, and the ocean beckons with her vast bounty. But if we cling to the old ways, this great ship we call Limsa will trade the boundless seas for a lagoon. Shall we scorn the world's wealth for a plundered pittance then? Or shall we embrace change and thrive, like our ancestors before us? The choice is yours. But if we are to prosper in the coming age, the whole of Vilbrand must become our ship, and a kobold and Sahagin our crewmates.
Rousing words. Might even be some truth in them. But pirating's all we've ever known. And we ain't about to give it up just 'cause you say so. Still, we're all the Mincins here and no one wants a war. So where does that leave us? Long before you became Admiral, I heard you was captain of the League of Lost Bastards. That true? If so, you'd know how we pirates settle our differences.
A duel. Very well. As Admiral of Limsa Laminsa, I accept your challenge.
Why would you have it holstered on your other side? I mean, I'm sure it's just like a Final Fantasy XIV thing, because it's like a sword, you know, you draw a sword from the other side, but in a gun duel? Okay.
This ain't over! Not till one of us is dead! Finish the job! Or I will!
It's the captain!
Captain Ilfir!
Ye fool! 'Twas over afore it began.
Captain!
Seems the whelps have been yapping while their master was abed. Listen well, all of ye. Since the signing of the Galadian Accord, we all of us have been part of the same crew. The crew of the good ship Limsa Laminsa. At the helm of that ship is the Admiral. And 'tis she who decides where we sail. Was I not clear on that point? Or did you forget whose deck you stand on? Nay? Then what in the seven hells are you playing at?
It's all we know, Captain. If we ain't pirates, what are we?
You're bloody idiots is what ye are. Idiots with your own lives ahead of ye. Ye can do anything ye want. Be anything ye want. We're pirates, aye. And we pirates love our loot. But that ain't our first love. Our first love is the sea. The sea! And what she brings us. Freedom! So hold fast to that. Let the brine-crusted husk that stands before you now be the last of them as knew naught save out of steel. And make of yourselves a new breed of pirate! Lad, I made ye me right hand 'cause I saw something in ye. And I still do. You have the makings of a captain. All you lack's the belief. Well now, it seems we're of one mind after all. Apologies for the misunderstanding, Admiral. We're with ye, wherever ye be headed.
You have my thanks, Hilfir.
Your choice of dueling pistol did not escape my notice. Good old Annihilator. Ender of many a proud pirate's voyage. Mistbeard's vanished into legend, and it won't be long before I take my rest in the depths. Yet be that as it may, the old ways can only truly die when we've dealt the Empire the telling blow. There'll be stormy seas ahead, no doubt. But I'm trusting ye to steer us through to the other side.
Well, everything's okay now. Our political leader was almost murdered in a duel. But it's all good. Though I had anticipated a duel, I did not foresee that Hilfer would intervene. But full glad am I that he did. It would have been a shame to kill the boy. Instead, the whelp has learned a valuable lesson, and we have made peace amongst ourselves. All that remains is to do likewise with our neighbors. Yes, okay. Great ship Vilbrand. Now, I need hardly tell you, but any attempt to negotiate with the tribes is doomed to fail unless their minds can first be wrested from the grip of their gods. And so, in the meeting we seek to arrange with the kobolds, I would have you free their leader of Titan's influence. Leave it to us, and we will open his ears to reason. You have my thanks. Ere we proceed, there is something you should know. Some 50 years past, when the Sahagins swarmed at our hulls in ever greater numbers, Limsa entered into a covenant with the kobolds. Men shall go the bounty of the sea, to kobolds shall go the bounty of the land, an ostensibly equitable arrangement, conspicuously lacking in detail. Aye, inadvertently or not, the wording was ambiguous, and we took advantage of it, moving in to claim the northern reaches of Lanasia, which the kobolds believed theirs. Bloodshed followed, then bloodshed to answer the bloodshed, and on it went, till every ilm of Vilbrand bore the stain of our conflict. This is not history, you understand. It is the present, fresh and raw, and with their kindred's blood yet on our hands, we will struggle to regain the kobolds' trust, even should we cure their temper. Admiral, you speak of obstacles we are like to encounter at the meeting, but as things stand, I see no reason why the kobolds would agree to a meeting in the first place. And so we must provide a reason. I will restore their stolen crystals to them, and personally deliver the cargo along with my apologies. Bait. They would welcome us into their midst, not to speak of peace, but to have you at their mercy. Aye, and given the wealth of crystals we will bring, I'll wager they will attempt to summon Titan there and then. Meaning a high priest would need to be present, to whom we could administer the cure. Precisely. He is the fish I would catch, but he will not be alone. Nay, he will have guards on hand, and they will lay down their lives to protect him. Yet a single death on the kobold side would jeopardize our chance at peace, and there my venture founders. Yet it need not. What if we were to employ the Conqueror's chain? Though we would still have to weaken the kobolds, it would allow us to subdue them without inflicting lasting harm. The artifact Mistbeard used to take goods and not life. Aye, that would serve. Well done, Marshal. So, friends, what think you of our strategy? The effects of tempering are cumulative, and we may safely assume that the High Priest's exposure to primal influence is extensive. It will therefore take a great deal of ether to reverse its effects, not to mention time. Time during which Alizé would be defenseless. Even should we all look to her protection, I am not convinced we could keep an entire army of kobolds at bay. Well, I'm happy to take that risk. It's not as if we have any other choice. Besides, it's what Tesleen would do, and had I not followed her example, we wouldn't even have a cure for tempering, much less a chance to bring peace to Vilbrand. So I'm going to cure that priest, or die trying. I believe in you, Alizé. I believe in you too. You and everyone. I know you'll keep me safe. It is settled then. See to your preparations and make for Camp Overlook. We will join you there anon. Alrighty. I don't think we're fighting Titan again, so it's probably just going to be some solo scenario thing. Alphino wasn't lying when he said I'd be defenseless, so I'm counting on you all to give me the time I need. Our sole purpose will be to keep you out of harm's way, so leave that to us and focus on your own task. Indeed, and should you want for ether, you need only say the word. Gabu, did you follow us here? There's something important I want to say to the High Priest. Express state say. Please let me come with you, please. Sorry, but it's too dangerous. I need you to promise me that you'll stay here where it's safe, alright? My apologies for the wait. It took time, but we have secured our audience. All unfolded as expected. At the mention of my returning their crystals in person, the kobolds suddenly remembered how keen they were to be reconciled. And so, in the glorious spirit of cooperation, we are to be received by Patriarch Zadav, the Second Order, who awaits our pleasure in the navel. If you are ready, let us proceed to the Ugamaro mines at once. Oh yeah, I got, hold on. There you go. Yeah, so Ren informed me about this one. I didn't know, but this is the SDS Fenrir, I think it's called. Yeah, the SDS Fenrir. manufacturer for use by the now defunct Strife delivery service. So this is Cloud's motorcycle. You have to buy it on the store, the real store. Not cheap. It's like $30. But aside from playing the badass music, it also automatically gives you the rank 1 mount speed increase if you don't have it when riding this mount. So when you go into like a fresh new area, you automatically ride at the faster mount speed, even if you haven't unlocked it yet, which is awesome. So yeah, next expansion, we're going to be rocking this bad boy a lot. It's going to be great. That's pretty sweet. This Aetheryte will bear us to our quarry. Should he make to summon Titan, as I anticipate, we will halt the ceremony and restrain him. At this, all hells will break loose, and we'll have an army of kobolds to entertain till Alizé's work is done. Just remember, none must die. We weaken them and let Einzar do the rest. It is time. Stay the course, my friends. I spy calmer waters beyond this squall. Let's do it.
Greetings, Patriarch. I am Merlwib Blufisvin, Admiral of Limsa Laminsa. I come before you to offer my sincerest apologies for the many wrongs committed by my people against you and yours.
You were foolish to come here. Stupid, unwise, foolish. The Great Father shall have your souls for your folly.
Aye, just as we thought.
Now, Alizé! Quickly!
You don't need to tell me!
Let none pass. We must grant her as much time as we can.
Let's do it to it. Let's dance our ass off. Who wants some of these dance moves?
We must protect Alizé!
Oh, shit. There you go. How's that for some dance moves? How about this for some dance moves? Oh.
You're in my sights.
AoE all this shit. Oh, damn that damage.
There!
You're in my sights.
Oh, you're in her sights. I don't know, man. There you go. That's what that got reset. There we go. was wondering why that seemed fucky.
Oh, just what we need.
Whoa. Babby.
You're not alone.
Alright. Bep. Bep. Bep.
There.
Okay, we can do a little bit of this, and a little bit of this, 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 a little bit of this. Press buttons, press buttons.
You're in my sights.
No, you're in her sights. That's what she said. Done.
Here you are, Alize.
Uh-oh. Bombs aren't good. Okay. Bombs are fine. Alright, that's a lot more bomb. And a grenade.
More! I need more ether!
Alright. Okay, not the grenade. Not the grenade. Okay, fuck. Oh, I needed to tank it. Oh, okay.
Just a little more!
What the fuck? I hope you're gonna do something. Oh, shit. He did. My ether too? You just can't get enough. Wow. Oh shit. Alright, I'll kick your ass, man. You think I need stats to kick your ass? I don't. Alright, let's... Shit. Oh, I fucked up. Whoops. Keep dancing, Mangg. Dance like you've never danced before. Oh, shit. Oh, come on now. Alright, it's fine. Nice. That was a big heal, because that's a level 80 heal with like level, I don't know, 60 stats or whatever we're at. It was a really lame attack, you know. You're never gonna hit me. I would hope that these attacks just one-shot you. I mean, come on. If you're not good enough to avoid those. This one, okay, maybe wouldn't one-shot you, but... Done. A little more ether, oh my god. Like Spirit Bomb.
Yes, this will do. Here I go. Go, Angelo.
Did it work?
What? What is the meaning of this?
I'm sorry, but they died by your hand. You sacrificed them to summon Titan.
No. No, 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 no! Why? Why would I do such a thing?
Would that there were a cure for the victims of the Tempered.
Gaboo! What are you doing here?
Patriarch, please listen to me. Hear, heed, listen. The Great Father we have been summoning is false. He only hurts us and those we love. For a long time, his voice filled my mind. It told me to do terrible things. Awful, unspeakable, terrible things. But I didn't give in to it, and you mustn't either. There's been too much pain already, so please, end the suffering.
What have I done?
We share this child's desire, Patriarch. An end to summoning, for it spells naught but misery for both our peoples. For many long years, man and kobold have feuded over territory, pillaging and perishing for the earth beneath our feet. It may be said that we fought to survive, but what we have sown in blood, we have reaped in suffering, and it cannot go on. I would see us set aside the past and work together for peace.
It was wrong of me to hurt my own in the name of the Great Father. Sinful, evil, wrong. But that doesn't mean there can be peace between us. Men cannot be trusted. The bounty of the land was to be ours, and yours the bounty of the sea. But you broke the pact. Violated, breached, broke. Unready as we were, what choice had we but to call upon the divine to rid ourselves of your tyranny?
None, and I do not blame you for it. In violation of the spirit, if not the letter of the pact, we took your lands for our own. The fault lies wholly with us. On behalf of all Laminsons, I offer you my humblest apology. I pray you'll find it in your heart to accept it. Yet I know an apology alone will not serve to make things right. So, we will revise the pact to leave no room for doubt, and any who violate it shall face justice, swift and certain.
No, we won't be fooled. Not again.
Please, hear me to the end. Fleeting though it was, there was a time when man and kobold abided together in harmony, in cooperation. In those days, your people shared the secrets of smelting. Knowledge which allowed Limsa Lominsa to thrive. Much of what we have, we owe to the kobolds. And so, for the good of all who dwell on this isle, I wish to make you an offer. We will bear your people's wares to every corner of the world, and trade them in your stead. In return, we will bring you the bounty, not only of the sea, but lands both near and far. Whatever you desire, the Navigator as my witness, you shall have it. There will be no more man and beastman, just the crew of the great ship that is Vilbrand. And together, we will share in the wealth of the world, if you'll only accept our hand in friendship.
We want to believe you. We truly do. But we believed you before and you betrayed us. Fooled, deceived, betrayed us.
There are bad men, it's true. But there are also good ones. And the ones before you are the best of them. They were always kind to me. Caring, nice, kind, and I trust them with my life.
Before I became Admiral, I was a pirate. I stole, I fought, I stained the sea red with blood. Such is my past, and I dare not forget it, however much I might want to. That is death penalty. The pistol I used to pass judgment on my own sire when he fell thrall to Leviathan and betrayed his comrades. It's loaded. If you were to point it at my head and pull the trigger, I would most assuredly die. Though it isn't much, my life is the single most valuable thing I possess. If it will suffice to atone for past wrongs, take it. A single bullet to annul the old pact, and my blood to write it anew. What comes after, I entrust to this man, my second in command. I know that he will do his utmost for the happiness of all who call Vilbrand home.
I do not trust you. Not yet. But Gaboo does. And I will trust him.
We want you to know that we respect your faith. There's nothing wrong with giving thanks to the land which sustains you. But summoning is different. Should you hear of anyone who would attempt it, we ask that you appeal to their better judgment, or failing that, seek our aid. We're always ready to help.
Many and more of my brethren are yet in thrall to the Great Father, just as I was. If you could free them too, I would be grateful. Appreciative, thankful, grateful.
Tis we who should be grateful, Patriarch. I thank you for affording us this chance.
Whew, that was a long one. It would seem we have found a way forward with the kobolds. Next, we will help the Second Order to free their tempered brethren from thraldom. Theirs is far from the only order, of course, and it will take no small amount of time and effort to reach the rest. But reach them we will, however long it takes. I would say that I was in your debt, but that has long been true. So instead, I will say thank you for helping us to plot a new course, not only for Limsa Lominsa, but all Eorzea. Alright. Futures rewritten. Last quest.
Right. Let's return to the Rising Stones.
Admiral, something strange is afoot at the floating city.
Breathe, man. What is it?
I think it's best you see for yourself. Please, come with me.
What in the world is that? A tower.
You can see it too, then? I feared I was losing my wits. One moment I was patrolling as usual, and the next it was just there.
Yes? This is she. I am. I'm looking at it. What? Understood. Send the Elder Seedseer my regards. The communications officer. It seems this isn't the only tower. They've sprung up all across Eorzea. Nothing more is known, only that they appear to be of Garlean construction. Our allies on the Alamegan front are on highest alert. Forgive my directness, but would you join them? They may well need the help.
Of course, Admiral. We shall make all haste.
My thanks. I will return to Limsa to weigh our response. Look for Commander Hext when you arrive in Alamigo, and may the Navigator speed you on your way.
Now this is interesting. Weird-ass towers popping up all over the place. Garlean construction. And now it's nighttime.
Thank you for coming so soon. I'll send for Commander Aldin at once, and we can decide what to do about these infernal towers.
Rocket preserved!
Oh, shit.
It can't be.
The palace! After them!
You're here. Good.
Well, well, well! To be received by such an illustrious cast! Why, even the hero of the piece is here! I feel quite starstruck.
Is that a sigh?
His body, more like. You don't fool us.
Oh! You saw straight through it! Anyone would think you dealt with Asians before. Permit me to introduce myself. I am Fandaniel, and may I say what a pleasure it is to finally make your acquaintance.
What do you want?
My, straight to business is it? Suit yourself. It is my intention to recreate the final days, to which end I have distributed a collection of rather ingenious devices, or towers, which will, in time, give rise to the grandest of spectacles.
The final days? But it was the Asians who labored to prevent them.
You're quite right, though I would expect no less from one responsible for eliminating my unsundered colleagues. Honestly, the three of them were obsessed with restoring the one true world. As a sovereign individual, however, I never had much interest in such things. I mean, why bother when you're just another sundered minion? Admittedly, Elidibus was not convinced by that argument, but thanks to you, I'm finally free of his incessant nagging. Free to use my powers as I see fit, to fulfill my heart's desire. And my heart's desire is to lay this half-broken world to waste, leaving nary a fleck of dust behind!
What? Why would you want such a thing?
Because I want wretched creatures who ask such meaningless questions to die! You! And you! And you! I want you all to die! And I want to die too! Oh, yes! I want to die and take everyone with me in a paroxysm of pain and suffering!
Yeah, this is an interesting and sympathetic villain.
I'm different, you see. From the ancients who clung to dear life, and from you. So don't bother trying to reason with me. You will find I have no reason, or creed, or any such tripe. I just want to destroy the world. But please do resist with all your might. It will add to my enjoyment. Now then, ladies and gentlemen, keep your eyes peeled, for the curtains have risen on the spectacle to end all spectacles. We, the Telophoroi, shall be your performers, and this very star our stage.
That's fucking Bahamut, man.
Ah, but I nearly forgot. I have a message for you.
My esteemed patron, Lord Xenos, eagerly awaits you at the heart of the chaos. While I wish only to destroy the world, he exists solely to relive a certain, transcendent moment with you. And it is for that reason he would reduce all to ash. Pray see to it his dreams do not go unfulfilled. For if you should disappoint him, my trusty companion here, whom I've dubbed Lunar Bahamut, will burn your cities and everyone in them.
Lunar Bahamut. Good old Final Fantasy.
Everyone out! My men will tend to the blaze.
That went well. For a first meeting. Thank goodness everyone's safe. We've managed to put out the fire, though not quickly enough to save the garden. Raubon, can I leave it to you to send word to the Alliance? I'm going to take a unit and investigate the tower. We need to find out what it's for. We'll go with you. No, you won't. You'll rest. From what Merlvib tells me, you're due some time off duty. Should we learn anything about the tower, we'll be sure to share it with you. Until then, I want you to rest. Very well. But if you need our help, don't hesitate. And take care, both of you. Back to Kryl. And in this last quest. Ah, you're back too. Good. We've received the reports from the Alliance. Since we're all here, perhaps those who bore witness to the events in Alamigo could treat the rest of us to a first-hand account. No sooner do we overcome one problem than another appears. It would all seem tediously predictable, but for the endless variety of our foes. This Fandaniel sounds even more unhinged than his patron. Unhinged, perhaps, but no fool. For all his pantomime theatrics, he gave away little about his plot. We know only that he intends to recreate the final days, and that the towers will somehow facilitate this. He also called his dragon Lunar Bahamut. Let's not forget that little detail. And the creature did resemble the descriptions I've seen of the Elder Primal. That may be, but the fact that it answered to Fandaniel would suggest they are not one and the same entity. I think it more probable that it is some manner of simulacrum born of Ascian magics. Whatever it is, for now we can but work closely with the Alliance and remain vigilant. I believe that concludes our news. What of yours, Y'shtola? I've been to see the Sultana. Knowing how quick the immortal flames are to dispose of their tempered, I judged it best to provide them with the cure first. As soon as I had sufficiently recovered, I traveled to Ul'dah and delivered the porksies to her grace, along with detailed instructions on their use. Yet my visit chanced to coincide with the arrival of some troubling tidings. The immortal flames had been on the cusp of agreeing to a truce with the Amalja when negotiations abruptly collapsed. The Amalja claimed that a number of their kind have been abducted and that men are responsible. Naught is known of the perpetrators as yet, but as the Immortal Flames went about investigating the abductions, they came upon one of Fandaniel's towers. On the subject of the towers, you may be interested to learn that they are not an exclusively Eorzean phenomenon. According to the Alliance, they have been sighted as far afield as Yangsha. It would seem reasonable to assume that they are everywhere. We simply have not found them. Well, as you said yourself, we can do little for now save remain vigilant. And since we are dealing with a dragon, ostensibly at least, I believe it would behoove us to enlist the aid of an authority on such foes. Estinian! Estinian? Now, just a moment. If he could be persuaded to lend us his lance, I would be the first to welcome it, but the truth is we will struggle even to find him. You let me and Kryl worry about that. We'll sniff him out no matter where he's hiding. If indeed he is hiding, we have ways of locating him regardless, so if there are no objections, we shall depart at once. Well, rather than sitting around, I think I might go to each of the city-states and educate them in the use of the Porxies. They would doubtlessly appreciate it, but might you consider taking a moment of rest before leaving? You would be fresher for the tasks ahead. Well, my friend, our moment of triumph did not last long. 'Twas ever the way. The world often needs saving. And save it we shall. I, for one, do not intend to allow a nihilistic madman to take us all to the grave with him. Not when the future holds such promise. Nay, I will do all in my power to protect those whom I hold dear, just as you have always done. Meanwhile, somewhere in the locks.
The scouts should have been back by now. I'm gonna go and find them. Oh, thank goodness for that.
Glory be. Glory be. Glory be.
Glory be to Garibald!
We might be going to Garlemald in the next expansion. But meanwhile, in the Imperial Palace... Turn on some lights, Xenos. Goddamn.
The piles have been driven as planned, and the first of the beasts has roared to life. Moreover, I am pleased to report that preparations are well underway for the rest. Ere long, chaos shall reign over all the land, as befits the final days.
Call it what you will, so long as my friend returns to me, fangs bared and claws sharpened. I care not.
Of course, my lord. By strange coincidence, your dear friend chanced to be present when I made my declaration. I took the liberty of informing him that you await his coming, though I confess I may have singed him a little in the process.
And why do you tell me this? Are you in such a hurry to die?
Ah, my apologies. I must guard my tongue lest it be the end of me. Though, there is something to be said for such a glorious death. Better to fall to one who has it all than falter before an inferior. Huh. I shall keep it in mind as a contingency. For now, however, I shall proceed with the plan. My lord.
I must find myself a new weapon. One worthy of our long-awaited reunion.
There you go. Pen and sword. Writer of histories. I like that a lot. Perfect. That'll be my title for a while. A long while, because we are to be continued once again. And this time we have to wait a bit more than a couple days. Probably gonna have to wait 3 or 4 months before we come back to do more videos. And even then, it's going to only be like a few videos, and then it'll be another few months. And so, yeah, this is sort of the trickle now. Sad, I suppose, but it's been a long journey to get to this point. Very long journey. My playtime... 26 days, 22 hours. So I guess this is as good a point as any to review Final Fantasy XIV, as I tend to do. I mean, obviously, we're not done. We are going to keep playing as they bring out more content. But we've played a sufficient amount, I think, to review it or to comment on it. So... obviously, I love it. I mean, we wouldn't have been here. I wouldn't have suffered through this if I didn't. And I love it enough that I'm going to play through the whole story again and make it my job for the next year. So, yeah, I think I like Final Fantasy XIV. I do think it is the best MMO out there. But at the same time, it's not for everyone. You know, that doesn't mean that if you like MMOs, you're gonna like Final Fantasy XIV because it's the best. I don't think so. It does a lot of things really well, but it doesn't do everything well, depending on what you're looking for. I mean, point one, if you're looking for PvP in an MMO, this is not your game. You likely won't even start playing it if that's the case. Personally, I'm not, I mean, you know, in my time with like World of Warcraft, I've done a decent amount of PvP, you know, battlegrounds and arenas and world PvP, stuff like that. But it's not ever like a driving thing. I'm never that enthused about it. So that's not a big deal for me. If you're looking for really fast-paced combat, I think there are better MMOs, perhaps. This is a highly subjective thing. I love Final Fantasy XIV's combat, but it is not that fast-paced, primarily due, I feel, to the 2.5-second global cooldown. So when you cast an ability, you know, it's 2.5 seconds before you can cast any other ability. Well, for the most part. Now that I mean... and so that means a lot of these spells have lengthy lengthy cast times. You're just not spamming as many abilities, for the most part, as, say, in a game like WoW or Guild Wars 2 or something like that. And again, that's just a subjective thing. I prefer it this way. I prefer to have to push less buttons as far as abilities are concerned and be more interested in the mechanics of each boss fight. But if you prefer the really fast pace, you know, here's 30 abilities, you're going to be smashing them all the time, that's a knock against this game. And then the story. Now, the story itself is not really a knock against the game. But the fact that practically every piece of content in the game is gated behind the story, for some people, that will be a knock against it. And for me, it's not a problem, obviously, because I did this whole Let's Play. That's what we did. But it is a bitch to get people to play this game. Because really you have a few options. Option one is you buy story skips and level skips in order to get them close to the end game. And even that doesn't, I mean, you still have plenty of shit to do before you get to the actual end game, because it only bumps you up to level 70. And most people are not inclined to spend that much money on a game that they're not sure they like. You know, on an MMO. Yeah, they have the trial, but the trial doesn't exactly get you running and going and playing with your friends. So ignoring that option, you either play through and pay attention to the entire story, as I did with this Let's Play. You play through the whole thing, you listen to all the dialogue, you read all the dialogue, all that stuff. That process takes... I mean, this is like the 147th video I did. Each one was over an hour, so I don't know. I don't know what the total time of this series has been, but it's got to be like 200 hours or something. That's massive. Not that that alone is... I mean, that's not bad. It's a fun journey. But to say to your friends, like, hey, come play Final Fantasy XIV with me. We'll get a group together and we'll all, you know, have fun doing dungeons and shit like that. Oh, but first, pay attention to this story for 200 hours. Like, it's just... Even if you do get people that are like, yeah, I kind of want to play through the story. I like Final Fantasies. That's a massive commitment. Especially for people like my age that might play a game for like an hour or so a night. I mean, this is like 9 months just to get them, you know, to the end game so that we can do cool trials and raids together and, you know, current content. Or you skip everything. You skip every piece of dialogue, every cinematic, everything. You just bum rush through the campaign. Not only is that incredibly boring, because most of the time you're just running and talking to a person and then like mashing escape and stuff like that. Or mashing the mouse just to, you know, burn through so you can go talk to the next person. That still takes a long time due to travel time and loading time and skipping all this stuff and all that. That still takes a long time. Probably still like 30 hours or something, you know, something like that. And it's really boring. That's what I've been told. So neither of those options are really great for just like getting a group of adults on the same game to just go through and play together. It's just not feasible, you know? Compare that to like WoW, especially right now with the new expansion and the level crunch and all that. If a group of people want to get together and start playing WoW at this point, they do like the intro stuff. You might even be able to do that together, I don't know. And then you can just do dungeons and stuff and quests all together, together completely until you hit max level, which does not take long at all. And then you can do everything in the game pretty much together. For the most part. I mean, Shadowlands, the story, I don't know how much you can do together, but that takes like 8 hours or something like that, and then you're done. It's just a little frustrating. It's like, I mean, if you've been following this whole series, you'll know that at a certain point, I had a bunch of friends all start playing the game, and I was really excited. Like, oh, this is awesome. We got a whole bunch of people. They're all playing. It's going to be great. We're going to do trials. We're going to do extreme trials and savage stuff, and it's going to be awesome. Here is my friend list. My guild list. Look at these last login times. 62 days, 78 days, 95 days, 101 days. I mean, all of these people have just dropped it. Because all of these people were just trying to bum rush through the story. And if they had tried to just go slow and pay attention to the story, they probably would have spent even less time with the game. Because it's really not for everyone. Putting 200 hours to experience the whole story, that is not for everyone. Not when you're just interested in doing dungeons together. And you can't go through the story together. You really can't. And I mean, I guess you could, but it's like, what, you're all skipping the dialogue together, or you're all just sort of reading dialogue together. I mean, it just doesn't work. That's really my major complaint with the game. Not for me personally, but for other people, for like friends and stuff. It's just, I don't know how to convince these people to come back and you know, keep going. I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. I mean, lately I've been trying to push just like story skips and level skips and blah, blah, blah. That's what my brother did. He bought a story skip and a level skip. But, you know, you still have to go through all the way through Shadowbringers, which is, I mean, it's really good if you pay attention. But, you know, when you buy a story skip and you want to experience Shadowbringers, you don't know any of the characters. You don't know any of the past events. You don't know what's going on. So it's just like you don't really feel that invested. You don't want to pay attention, so you just skip stuff. But then, like I said, it's really boring, and you have to do it in order to do all the content. You can't just level to 80 through, like, roulettes and stuff, and then just you unlock everything. No, you have to do the story content. Again, I love this game. You know, I paid attention to the whole story. I'm going to do it again. I'm all in. But for other people, it's just tough. And at the end of the day, even though I am going to be making a whole series about the story, what I really like are the dungeons and the trials and the raids and all that. Like the end, you know, the combat and the mechanics and all that. I love that. And I really want to do that with a group of friends. I think that would be awesome. And that's really what I try and say to try and convince people to play it and get back into it. Is like, there's some awesome fights. It's going to be so cool and awesome and fun and blah, blah, blah. But there's just this, there's this brick wall in the path. There's this brick wall in your way that you have to somehow pass. I don't know what to really tell Square Enix to do about it. You know, obviously they put a great deal of time and effort into making this story. I mean, that's what this game is focused around in a lot of ways. They don't really want people to just bypass it. But it's just a shame. It's just a shame. So I don't know. I don't know what to say. You know, especially at my age, people my age, MMOs in general are just sort of a thing of the past. It's just kind of this daunting thing. You know, married people, people with children, all that stuff. To put that much time, invest that much time into a game is a big deal. You know, you have 12-hour, you have 1 hour to play a game every day, or 5 days a week, or whatever, maybe less. Are you going to put that time into just a game that you could beat in 10 hours or 12 hours or something like that? Or just you know, something quick and easy, you know, Overwatch or something like that? Or are you going to invest into a 200-hour long story? It's just tough, man. So I don't know. I'll keep trying to convince them, and I'll keep trying to convince other people. Hopefully, you know, when I start doing the exploring series for this game, I'll enlist other people, viewers and stuff, to join the guild. Maybe the guild can grow that way, and maybe that can convince some friends to jump back in. I don't know, but either way, I love it, and I'm going to keep playing it. So that's the bottom line. Another big thing, another big factor is that it is Final Fantasy. And there's just gobs of Final Fantasy references and bits of lore and things like that for fans of Final Fantasy. And if you're not a big fan of Final Fantasy, this all goes over your head. And I don't think you appreciate it on the same level. I think you can still like it plenty without really knowing anything about the other games, but it is very nice. It is sort of a love letter to the whole series. Yeah, I don't know what else to really say. I guess I will say, personally, my opinions on the story so far, I guess overall is like a big picture kind of thing. I do think that this game has the best story and character development of the entire franchise. I can agree with that now. Especially looking at like the big plot points and the stories of like Heavensward and Shadowbringers. I mean, this is really awesome, epic stuff. No doubt about it. But at the same time, there is a lot of filler. There is a lot of other nonsense. I mean, there is a reason you can condense 150 hours of story into, like, you know, an hour-long video and hit all the plot points. Just because there's a lot of extra dialogue and unnecessary dialogue and little side things and little filler things that aren't really up to the same epicness. And you don't need it to always be crazy epic, but this kind of stuff is usually relegated to side quests, whereas here it's part of the main story. And that's another thing when trying to convince people to play the game and maybe play through the whole story. It's like, yeah, the story is really good, but is it 200 hours of goodness? I don't think so. I don't think so. And this is really what I was thinking when I came up with the idea of doing a lengthy summary. A summary that hits as much of the goodness as possible while cutting out all of the sort of middling fillerness. Enough goodness, enough character development, you know, enough epicness, but cut out all like the bullshit, of which I think most fans will agree there's some bullshit. You know, this is not the leanest, cleanest, best, most well-written story in the history of video game stories. Now, they have their quotas to fit. You know, they have these patch quests where they need to have a certain number of quests before the next expansion, and that's how you tend to get some sort of filler content. But yeah, overall, it's great. It really is great. So, I will leave it off here. What a journey it has been to this point. Again, you know, if you're ever interested in trying out the game, I am on the Hyperion server, or the Hyperion world, or whatever. You know, give me a whisper or whatever it is. And I will be playing through the game on a second character for the purposes of videos. And hopefully that'll bring some more interest to the game, maybe to this guild, maybe to this world, you know, and I don't know. In the future, you might see some Savage content, some high-level endgame sort of stuff. That would be pretty cool. But either way, hell of a game. Really looking forward to the future of Final Fantasy XIV. But for now, my name is Mangg. Game watching has been Final Fantasy XIV. I will see you fine folks around.